Hey everyone, here we are. If you can believe this or not, this is episode 10 already. And today I want to talk about how to stay spiritual when you are tired. Because I'm telling you what, folks, I'm really feeling it here tonight. So I usually go through and work out a bit of a script so that I have some kind of a flow over what the podcast is going to be. And today, rather than doing something that's scripted, I'm just going to do off script. I'm going to end up doing some riffing here. I want to share with you a few things that are happening behind the scenes here, and we'll kind of work backwards from there. This week, I'm going to do a prototype workshop, an online workshop, which is very near and dear to my heart. This one's called How to Hear from God. And there's a whole kind of a backstory behind why I'm creating that one. And some of you on the podcast may have come across me with my earlier workshop version called How to Move Forward When You Can't Go Back. So both of these two are pretty new. So I would say I've come up with the concepts and really started marketing them within the past 30 days. So I've run a couple cohorts through, a couple classes, couple sessions for the How to Move Forward When You Can't Go Back. And How to Hear from God is just going to be in its first one coming up here on Tuesday. So they're very new, but I tell you what, I've been very blown away at the response to both of them. Now, for those of you who don't know, I recently sent out a message to my subscribers on Deepwater Labs, and I've said, hey, it looks like Deepwater Labs is going to become this faith-based channel in my world. And if you want to stick around for the faith-based stuff, that's awesome. Would love to have you. But I know some of you kind of came to be in that pool and maybe didn't realize it was going to be faith-based. So I'm giving those folks the option to opt out. And I have another side of my life that is more, I'll just call it more mass market, more corporate, right? Corporate friendly. And that's where I'm going to move that first workshop. So how to move forward when you can't go back. So that's not primarily some faith-based message by any stretch. It does teach a lot of just good old-fashioned skills there, right? Life skills. So anyway, for those of you who don't follow me on that channel, feel free. You can jump over to just it's my public speaking website. So if you go there, you're going to see about some of the different types of talks that I give when I'm out on the road. So that website is Jason, and then my middle initial R and my last name Owens.com. So you can head over there. Likewise with the YouTube channel, you can also find that I have a YouTube channel there. I'll put that down in the show notes somewhere. But yeah, the whole purpose of this conversation, though, isn't to plug all of my different places, but just to give you an idea that there's these two workshop concepts now that I've created, and a lot of things have really unfolded here very quickly, and it's been kind of fun to sit back and watch these things develop. I've spent years going through and having this great idea, right? And then I try to move forward with it, and the market doesn't respond. The markets respond actually quite well to these, so I'm very pleased. So whenever I have people signing up for these workshops, I will ask a couple questions of people just to kind of get a feel for who's actually in the room with me, right? So who is it that is part of the audience here? So I've been learning just a ton of really deep stuff here on people on this new workshop, How to Hear from God. Just really interesting. Folks, right now the major theme is discernment, okay? So whenever I hear something, I want to make sure I'm getting it right. I want to make sure I'm getting it from God and not just, just this voice in my head kind of thing. So that's going to be fun to cover. And on occasion, whenever I'm running ads to get people to come into the workshops to register, somebody will end up posting comments, right? So that's pretty common. Someone yesterday, I'm not going to tell the name of the person who posted it, but this man, you talk about the absolute center of who I want this workshop to reach. He says, my prayer life has always felt one-sided every time. I pray, I see no results, and I don't hear God. I pray for him to talk to me or to feel his presence. And then he tells a very detailed, very personal story here that I won't share. But it is gut wrenching. And then towards the end, he says that he has a hard time wanting to share his faith because he feels like there's so much unanswered prayer in his life. He doesn't really feel like he can be truthful in saying, hey, this whole Jesus thing is great. This whole God thing is wonderful. Just believe and everything will work out. And he just in one Facebook post here, one Facebook comment, really captures a lot of the struggles that I've had with faith over the years of, well, this seems to be working for everyone else but me. What's going on? So to hear that there is at least one other person out there who's experienced that, and frankly, I think there are thousands of other people out there who've experienced this, maybe even tens of thousands. So it's been very interesting to see that comment come in. So so that was good. So if you have not registered for those workshops, no worries. It looks like those guys will be out here for a while. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of continually getting on a drumbeat of offering both of those workshops. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. So another couple things here. I want to go back over a few of the last episodes in the podcast. So episodes 1, 2, and 3 were about me trying to make sense of this whole overarching story of really what the podcast and really what the channel is about. And that is, wow, way back when I was in my 20s, late 20s, I thought that I had heard from God, right? I had this great message, or not great message, this calling, and I wanted to go do this thing that God called me to, and my wife and I ended up took the leap of faith, and frankly, nothing worked after we took that leap of faith, and life became about the scramble of, number one, how to get our footing back, and then how to make sense of what happened. So that was episodes 1, 2, and 3. Then I got on a kick for a few episodes. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. This is an out-of-print book called The Deeper Experiences of Famous Christians, and it dug into several saints of old and kind of tells their backstory. Like, why did these people get famous? What are they famous for? I found a lot of resonance in a couple of those characters there, or a couple of the personalities inside the book. So I did a few episodes on some of those saints, and I don't know that I'm done doing that, because frankly, that book has done a lot for me in terms of kind of reorienting how I think about, frankly, success in Christianity, right? So we've got this whole culture of name it and claim it, and why aren't things, if you want something, then you should wrap a Bible verse around it and God will just give it to you. If that does happen for you, fantastic, good for you. Hasn't been my experience. And I enjoy talking to others who haven't had that experience as well, right? So people who are kind of sitting there going, wait, what happened? I thought if I followed the rules, I thought if I did step A, B, and C, that things would work out. And what gives, right? So I did what I thought I was supposed to do. God, what's going on? So anyway, I've really been digging into that book, which is fantastic. The most recent book that I'm reading through, this is actually now the third time, and that is because I'm right now on a bit of a burnout streak. This is a great book called Slow Productivity, The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout. It's a really good read. This is one of probably 3 great books that are out. This one's fairly newer. It's by a guy by the name of Cal Newport. Great read, very well written. And if you're just feeling like you're trying to accomplish too much, then that is a great look at it. So with that, folks, I really thank you for doing the downloads. I really thank you for reaching back out to me. I thank you for all the comments on the Facebook pages there on the Deepwater Labs Facebook page and Deepwater Labs Instagram. And as you know, this podcast is not only put out through, let's see, it's put out through Apple Podcasts and a couple other places, iHeartRadio as well. They're doing video podcasts now. In time, this will end up going out to a couple other video places. It's definitely out on YouTube, of course. So again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. So that's it, folks. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.